Farah is the chairman of council.
Farah, how are you? Very good. Okay. How are you?
Vice President.
Today is 8th.
Today is 8th.
Songeni nyuma. Nini?
Let's appreciate our team as I leave the stage.
On my own behalf and that of management and Senate of the Technical University of Kenya, I would like to heartily welcome the Secretary President of our beloved country, Kenya. May the Lord continue to bless you in our new building, ESROC, and also to launch the beginning of works on Kilo and Iowa. Your Excellency, sir, please permit me to make this a unique institution, both in its mandate and its scope, our independence. As the Kenya Polytechnic, the institution was a leader in Tibet education. The university is today the largest institution offering education and training in the broad field of engineering, not only within Kenya, but within in the latest university ranking worldwide, the Technical University of Kenya was ranked 8th in Kenya and remains the only today has some 17,000 students, of whom about 2/3 are pursuing degree programs, while the other 1/3 are diploma students.
It is my distinct pleasure, on behalf of the esteemed comrades of the great Technical University of Kenya, to welcome Your Excellency and your delegation to this university. I take this excellence. Your Excellency, we do not take your decision for granted. Your Excellency, allow me to assure you that as a youth in this university and in other universities, a place to incubate the ideas of creation, they are humbly requesting you to support them get an innovation hub. This will not only help us develop ideas, but also ensure that these innovations
transition at the Ministry of Education, and would like to take this opportunity to welcome and congratulate. Sir, as very briefly, as the Vice Chancellor noted, the Technical University of Kenya is a unique institution, both in its mandate.
To be here today at this great institution at the heart of our capital. Your Excellency, as you can see, you as ODM at that time, but the sticking point was how do we divide this country because of the...
Ask whether it is also working in theory.
Scientists are different. Scientists want to make
battery. Yes. So once you finish this, the battery will need a This is the core that is due to that is the frame. So the thrust is the sum of both the thrust from the core plus from the frame. We carry between 4 to 6 people.
Yes, so our basically like smaller like than
Now go ahead.
but you can say the same for fuel. So yeah, so Your Excellency, I will explain.
From the start, this institution has maintained its leadership position as Kenya's premier technical and vocational education training organization. The mainstay of this well-deserved profile has and naturally been quality, for which it has remained attractive to large numbers of Kenyans pursuing training in vital fields. Due to this commitment to quality, the institution is still highly regarded by industries seeking to employ sound and reliable technical personnel. In response to the critical technical needs of a nation striving for newly industrialized, high middle-income status, as set out in Kenya Vision 2030, this institution was functionally elevated from a national polytechnic to a polytechnical university. The rationale of this strategy was to enhance the institution's traditional strengths in the domain of technical and vocational education and training by investing it with a strong research, development, and innovation capacity underpinned by a robust academic infrastructure. The nation's demand for this and other similar institutions is clear. Our socio-economic transformation agenda stands in a need on responsive education in the technical and vocational fields. Growth will require well-developed talent, skills, and knowledge, finely attuned to our present needs and future aspirations. Our young people deserve opportunities to pursue further education and training after obtaining their diplomas, and should be able to progress to bachelor's degree and beyond. It was therefore imperative for the government to provide a flexible mechanism with multi-entry and multi-exit learning opportunities. I commend the Technical University fraternity for striving in the face of daunting challenges to retain the iconic identity of this institution. You have struggled with admirable resolve to remain essentially a technical and vocational university, properly supported with robust science and technology programs and complemented by the social sciences and humanities as well. And it was very refreshing to see the presentations by the students here, as was commended by our governor. Our presence at this event signals the government's readiness to partner with tertiary institutions and especially TVETs to forge a clear pathway for Kenya to deepen its competitive technical capacity, increase the number of highly skilled technical personnel, and assume global leadership in the transformational innovations and build an efficient engine to power growth in every sector of our economy. We are committed, good people, to do our part in supporting the growth of Kenya as a technological and industrial powerhouse, and the starting point for such an endeavor is right here. I direct the Cabinet Secretary for Education to expeditiously work out modalities of government support for graduates of our TVET institutions wishing to pursue further education. It is important that the institution maintains its core identity as a polytechnical university. This means that its mandate to train at the diploma level must be sustained. I am aware that funding for this component has not been up to the appropriate levels. I have already asked the Cabinet Secretary to make appropriate arrangements to ensure that this university lives up to its founding mandate by providing funding for it to continue offering diploma programs. I encourage the university to intensify its effort in developing innovation. We will support it to incubate transformative innovations with potential to become leading enterprises and competitive industrial developments. And I agree with the President of the Student Union here that it is time to provide an innovation hub at the Technical University of Kenya. And you can count on my support, Mr. President. Yeah. And in particular, I encourage the university to establish a technology park where all the discoveries and innovations made by staff and students can further be developed and showcased. And we will find the nexus between the development of the science park and the innovation hub so that we can roll it into one and provide that facility in this great university. And I look forward to coming to see how that will work. with appropriate support, the university can produce factory and machinery parts, including motor vehicle parts for the local market and export. And I look forward to building the bridge between your workshops, your laboratories, with the eventual industry users, so that we can create the nexus and create the ecosystem for us to be able to use and leverage on the knowledge and skills in building and supporting our industry. We must seize this priceless opportunity to place our industrialization agenda in our hands and enhance local capacity to compete globally in sophisticated industrial projects. I commend the university for taking effective measures to resolve various challenges standing in the way of its ability to fulfill its mandate. The capacity and space constraints occasioned by sudden expansion without commensurate funding has been a major problem. I am also aware that there is misalignment between the ministry's charter and the constitutive legislative instrument, which affects the clarity of its mandate. And I want to say here, after consultations with the council chair and the vice chancellor, that we will rework and we will recharter this university so that we can establish this university as a special technical university, not just a university. I know the charter that was given to this university is a charter like for any other university, but that should not be the case. The Technical University of Kenya should not just be Technical University in name, it should be Technical University by charter. Funding for public universities remains inadequate, with multiple implications for their performance and capacity to contribute optimally to the national agenda. Again, I want to commit that my administration is going to ensure that we create a framework that makes it possible for every university to admit students that the government of Kenya can support. And I am happy that we have received recommendations from different stakeholders, from vice chancellors, from the Association of Students, and the recommendations that have been made are practical and they are workable. And therefore, when we finally come through with the recommendations from the Presidential Working Party on education, we will capture all the aspects so that the 50% resources that are available to the university at the moment, which is making it very difficult for our institutions of higher learning to carry out their courses and train our young people appropriately, we can close the gaps and ensure that we provide for alternative sources of funding so that there should be adequate funding for all the courses that are provided for by our universities. I want to give assurance that the government of Kenya is seized with these and other critical concerns and that we are committed to resolving them, as I have said, in the spirit of collaboration and through the Presidential Working Party, because we need a sustained funding framework which is essential to unleash all the potential in our universities and to launch them on the path of self-sufficiency through commercialization and other interventions. We are developing a policy to guide these endeavors and ensure that Kenyan universities take their place at the vanguard of education, training, research and development, and also innovation. The Technical University of Kenya will play a central role in ensuring that we develop the human capital that will help us drive our country into the future. It is my commitment that our human resource is the biggest asset that we have. And the mechanism to sharpen that human resource is in education and training. And the technology space that Technical University is present is the biggest ever space that we need, not just for building our capacity, human capital capacity in Kenya, but making sure that we have excess capacity that we can export and be able to drive our economy using our human capital. I am looking forward to working with the universities that we have and our TVET institutions so that we can increase our revenues from the diaspora. We are currently collecting maybe receiving about 400 billion Kenya shillings. I expect that in the next 3 to 5 years, we should be receiving 1 trillion shillings from resources that will come from our human capital that we have trained in Kenya working globally. I'm also clear that it is universities like Technical University and all our other institutions of higher learning that will support the human capital that we need to drive our industrialization, our agro-processing plan, our value addition agenda, so that we can be able to grow our economy, expand our revenue base, and ensure that Kenya becomes sustainable and we stop borrowing money from others and begin to lend money where others require.